Your leader filled with mind, cause we're awakened.
At Awakened Radio Network, we're all about success. We know that working together is the perfect way for all of us to live the success lifestyle. That's what it is. It's a lifestyle. And to help our listeners move into 2014 knowing that they can live this life, we're opening up our airwaves to some of the best lifestyle teachers anywhere in the world. A day-long event where you, as the speaker, are spotlighted by our station manager, Donna Devane, the Barefoot Guru, who knows how to guide you to your best sheriff. Check out our website and get all the details at awakenedradio.net. Look on the tab where it says Success 2014. Perhaps you and your message would be perfect for our December 1st, 2013 speaker event, where we give people the tools to do more than wish. We empower them to live success. I'd like to invite you to add Awakened Radio to your Skype or email Donna Devane at awakenedradio@gmail.com to find out more about this 9-hour speaker event. Let Donna Devane help you share your message of healing, personal empowerment, success, whatever it is that you're passionate about. This is the perfect opportunity for you to share with our listeners all around the world, December 1st, 2013, where we help people to do more than wish. We're going to give them the tools to live success. Join us, Awakened Radio at awakenedradio.net. Thank you for listening to the Awakened Radio Network at awakenedradio.net, where we invite you to join us for the Prosperity Game. You can win prizes. You can also discover the easy, quick, surefire way to allow prosperity into your life experience. The Prosperity Games are ongoing on the Awakened Radio Network. Check out our front page, awakenedradio.net, for details on the Prosperity Game. You can win prizes by calling in, by being in our chat room. You can even win by leaving comments in our forum. We've got all manner of ways for you to join us to play the Prosperity Game, where we all win and live beautiful, wonderful, on-purpose lives. Join us for the Prosperity Games at awakenedradio.net.
Welcome. You're now tuned in to Your Unfolding Senses on Awakened Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ragozzine. This show is all about opening up to and accessing your full intuitive capabilities, with a wide range of topics, including everything from archetypes, chakras and dreams, to numerology and tarot. We also try experiments and exercises you can try at home to help you deepen and explore. The show airs every Thursday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. It's brought to you by intuitionbyrob.net, where I offer tips and tools related to show topics. Please.
Rob is having difficulty hearing everybody. Hold on just a minute. Can you hear me, Rob? Okay, now I can. Okay, there you go. Keep talking.
Hello, this is Rob Ragozzine. Thanks for tuning in. It's 10 p.m., November 7th, 2013. Welcome to Your Unfolding Senses. I'm Rob Ragozzine, your host, author, and explorer. Your Unfolding Senses is all about opening to your inner wisdom, and we're all intuitive. And we talk about the tools and techniques for centering, connecting inward, and learning to truly listen. Tonight, we're talking about change and transformation. Feel free to call in and ask questions or make comments. You might ask about tarot, numerology, dreams, or changing and transformation. what you're talking about tonight. I posted on Facebook about bringing a special object to the show. It could be connected to something that reminds you of happiness and joy, or it could be something that reminds you of transitions here in the Northeast. It might be a leaf or an acorn or something of that nature, or it could be a picture. I just took some pictures of rainbows, so it might be something like that. So you have time between now and when we talk about it to go gather that object. And you can join us in the chat room at awakenradio.net and click a live chat tab and make comments and suggestions. You can join us on the air by adding Awakened Radio to Skype or dial 334-649-7204. I want to give thanks to Susan Kern with Magical Eye Playground and Donna for the Healing Circle. Thanks for tuning in to the Awakened Radio. As you're listening, you can use this as an opportunity to let go of doubt, at least for the next hour, and allow yourself the opportunity to connect inward and connect to your heart and its wisdom. With that in mind, I invite you to take part in meditation. And if you can't safely do this, simply listen. So let's do a short meditation to help us enter the space of change and transformation and allow us to be vulnerable and have compassion as we access this theme within our lives. You might bring a question to mind that you've been wondering about. You might light a candle if you have one available. And as we're talking about change and transformation again, I remind you to have compassion for any vulnerability or emotions that might come up around this issue. And you might ask, how is anxiety or fear holding me back? As we talked about fear last week, so that might be an important issue for you. And allow a phrase, sound, or word, or symbol to come to you during the meditation for the answer. So finding a quiet space, if you can, and sitting or lying down comfortably, closing your eyes, and beginning to breathe slowly and gently, releasing any stress from the day, breathing gently into yourself and your heart, letting go of any doubts, any worries. Continue your breathing and let your mind quiet and your body rest. Feel yourself filling with peace and tranquility. Bring your focus to your heart and wonder, what has it been asking for? You may also wish to bring your hands to your heart to feel the energy of your heart within your life. Feel yourself filling with peace and tranquility. And wonder, what has your heart been asking for? Allow your awareness of your heart to deepen as you breathe and settle into the stillness. Feel all of your senses open, grow, and deepen. Know that this is a special place where you can clearly hear your own inner voice, however it speaks to you. And be mindful of how this space feels. You might not or notice any messages available to you within the space. Your inner ears might hear a word or a phrase. Your inner eyes might see a color, shape, or pattern. Your other senses might kick in and bring you signs and symbols as well. And pay attention to these. If you don't understand what they mean, ask for deeper clarity and allow for whatever comes to come. And as always, if nothing does, that's okay. Don't force anything to happen. Just rest in the silence and inner peace. This could be the very thing your heart has been yearning for. Simply notice how your body feels in this time of stillness. Breathe into the parts of your body that feel tight, worried, anxious, or stressed, and allow yourself to feel comfort. And be grateful for it, knowing that you can come here anytime. And continuing to breathe into those parts that are still, stressed, or tight, and acknowledging and having gratitude for this space, and begin to bring your awareness and prepare to leave. And slowly bring your focus back to the room. Gently opening your eyes and coming back to your body. Now, last week we talked about fear. This week we're talking about change and transformation. I guess any kind of transformation. That means transformation within yourself, transformation within your family, your community, and your culture, and to look at how you might facilitate that within yourself and allow the other changes and transformations to unfold within your life. Now, this is connected to intuition by allowing yourself to be comfortable, so we'll talk about mindfulness. So it's always helpful to have the comfort to be in the space, especially when we're talking about change. So to not necessarily step into the trigger that change brings. As soon as you hear the word change, you might say, oh my God, I got to run away. No, you can bring your hands to your heart and ask, why is there this trigger? Why am I afraid? And begin to peel back the layers, or just question yourself, what's the fear related to? Maybe you can breathe into your heart, breathe into the fear, and begin to notice what that fear is truly connected to. And one thing that's helpful to deal with here is letting go of the inner critical voice that says, I can't, I won't, this is silly. And I've been taking part in November in a writing contest called National Novel Writing Month. And it's definitely been a mindfulness practice, because I have to let go of the voice that says, this is silly, I can't write a novel in a month, or everyone else that I see samples from seems to be far, far, far better than anything I could ever conceive or write. So to let go of that, to have compassion for that part of myself that's judging, that's saying that my stuff is not worth it and everyone else's is liquid gold or something. Now, you might also use your awareness of the transition to notice the season changes. For instance, especially here in the Northeast, I talked about on Sunday the bright orange and reds that I've been noticing in the leaves, even though we're well past the optimal leaf viewing time. But just after the rains that we've been getting here, I've been noticing very bright, vibrant reds and oranges. And of course, that could be and is great communication just for me, just to notice the trees, and the trees really are record keepers, so I can begin to look at the record keeping within my own life, and to look at the perhaps photos of myself as the leaves, and to where are the photos, what's important in those photos. And I was just looking at myself on a fishing trip and noticed that, oh, I haven't been fishing in a few years, and maybe it's time for that. So just to notice the records and what's needing to be culled, perhaps, or what's needing to be reconnected to. And as we're talking about mindfulness, PBS had a special, I think, recently, and it's all about giving teens a chance to develop mindfulness themselves. It's called Room to Breathe. I'll post the link in the chat room if I find it, and also in the forum. And I believe it aired last night, and it'll air again soon. And looking in the chat room, and I guess there's nothing there for me, but that's okay. Now, mindfulness can really be an excellent personal practice that can simply be about reminding yourself to be aware of the present moment and not to cling to the past. And it can be hard, and I've talked about this before, because the present moment is not necessarily a pleasant moment. And I just read another story today, written by someone else from PBS, I believe, or no, it was NPR, that said, always go to the funeral. And I believe we have a caller, so, okay, let's talk with the caller.
She's not here yet. She's going to call in.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be waiting for her. Now, the always go to the funeral was a great story about a father raising her daughter, and she said, Dad always said, you're going to the funeral, not in a negative way, but in a way that was connected and open, and simply as a way to say goodbye and to connect with the people still left, still honoring the person who had recently passed away. And at the end of the article, she wrote, the most human, powerful, and humbling thing I've ever seen was a church at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday full of inconvenienced people who believe in going to the funeral. So it's simply about being mindful and accepting that, yes, this is a painful event, and still showing up and being present for the people that have lost someone, and even if it's yourself. And it's about being in relationship with these people, and if you don't show up, then you're definitely, obviously, not in a relationship. And I was looking at that for myself, for having missed a few of them. And if I don't show up, then I'm obviously not, as I just said, in relationship with people. So there, the mindfulness key is, okay, this is painful, this is a sharp edge. How can I not step away from it, but give it space to be felt, to be vulnerable, as I said before, and to have compassion for this moment and move into it.
You have a caller?
Okay. Hello, Dove and Butterfly.
Hello? Hey,
how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I'm
I can
good.
hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. I don't know if you can help me with this or not, but I'm just going to throw it at you. I was born with this anxiety disorder called obsessive compulsive disorder. And
okay.
where, do you understand it? Do you know what it is?
I have a brief concept of it. So
I'll explain it
like in the
just
movies.
so you get a little bit understanding, a little bit more. What happens is, it started when I was like 4 years old, and it destroyed my whole childhood, along with so many other things, but we're going to just focus on this one thing tonight. I get a thought, which is a horrible, horrible, violent, just terrible thought, like my mother is dead or sick or dying, or just awful thoughts in my head. And so in order to erase that thought, I have to wash or rewash my hands or redo whatever I did when I was doing whatever I was doing at the time I had a thought. So let's say I was washing a dish and I had a thought of my mom in a casket. I'd have to rewash that dish until I would see my mother healthy in my head. So that's kind of like the whole little cycle that goes on. Until the anxiety is relieved, you can't stop the ritual type thing. And no one knew what it was because it was the 60s, and they said, oh, she'll outgrow it. It's just some kind of weird thing that kids do. And it wasn't until I was 21 and I heard on Oprah what the disorder was, and I had already gone through my own, way of dealing with this by just not doing the ritual. But I was wondering, asking you, do you think that's like a past life thing, or where does that come from? Where could that possibly, why would I have that, Those just terrible, terrible thoughts that just intrusively come into my head, and I'm just reading a book or watching a show. It still happens to me. I just do not do the ritual. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in a doorway or washing my hands all day long. I mean, I just can't.
But what do you do instead?
I just will not do it. I don't resist it. I sit with it. I say it's just a thought, and I feel the anxiety, and then I let the anxiety go down until it's at a level where it's comfortable. Like if the anxiety's 10, I'll just sit with it and breathe until I get to like a 1, and then I'll forget about it and just move on until it happens again, But eventually it gets less and less and less and less.
Well, you're bringing mindfulness to it already. You're paying attention to the anxiety, and that's an important thing right there. It doesn't matter whether it's a past life or a future life or precognition or something else. You're taking time out for you and saying, okay, I'm anxious. How can I leave this without hurting myself? And that's a really key thing right there.
Well, it was only through, my own theories of just asking for help that I came up with that. And most people have to be on drugs and, do therapy with psychiatrists. I don't have that luxury. I'm homeless and broke. You know what I mean? I have to sit in a dark room and just be quiet. And it just came to me to do that, and it started working. I was like, whoa, no one died. Everything's okay. You know what I mean? It was awful, awful, awful. I'm making it a really short period, making it sound really short, but it was a long, drawn-out thing that I went through. And so I'm just thinking, why did I have that? I'm just curious. Is that some kind of, anything you ever heard of before in a mystical way, that I'm supposed to be learning or, I don't know. I just throwing you a ball.
I've heard of OCD. I've heard of OCD before, and seen the movies where people have to wash or do something repetitively. But you're already taking a healing step to put a stop to that, to tell yourself, no, I'm not willing to step into this pattern. I'm going to try to do something healthy for myself. And you're bringing awareness into your life. And that's wonderful. The next step would begin to try to connect to the emotions or the feeling on a deeper level and to see what the need is behind it. Now, did you bring...
How would I do that? Just, would I, go into meditation and try to, connect with the higher self? Or, I don't know what else to do beyond just sitting with it and letting it dissipate.
Well, you could do a number of things. One of the things I was going to talk about was working with your special object in a ritual. Mm-hmm. Could you bring one to the show? Well, we'll talk.
Yeah,
I don't really have time to talk about the whole ritual now because we're almost at break, about 6 or 7 minutes left. But we'll talk about that after the break. But this is all about recognizing that our lives can be painful and to look for ways that we can begin to change. So to work with the tools that you already have, because you don't have the money to go out and get more tools, right?
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Exactly.
But you do have mindfulness, so you can pay attention. You can sit down, be in the moment, and say, this is really crappy. This is really painful. Mm-hmm. I want to acknowledge this pain, but I also want to move past the pain. You could also begin to pay attention to your dreams. Do you write them down? Do you record them?
Oh, yes, I have dreams from, they are the weirdest, craziest, most obnoxious dreams, and they're just horrid dreams. So, yeah.
So it's acknowledging them, the horridness. The horridness is the medicine. At first, they seem scary, they seem frightening, but the medicine is within that scariness. And I described one last week for my own self. I don't know if you heard it. It was about me being pretty much in the middle of the ocean as waves came crashing onto me. And at first, it seemed pretty scary. But I began to look at it as showing capacity. I wasn't knocked down. I wasn't flattened. The land was still there. Nothing was harmed. The water was warm, and it was just learning to accept and be in the moment, to be present for whatever was and whatever is for myself. So I'm not saying
the ocean. mean emotions, like the ocean or any kind of water represent emotion? I heard that somewhere along the way.
Well, it could. It could mean a lot of different things. It's looking into and feeling into what the symbols mean for you. So to go to your dreams and start to ask, what do these symbols mean for me, and not be afraid of them. Just like you're not afraid of the OCD. You brought compassion to it. You brought acceptance to it. Yeah. So do the same thing for your dreams. It's the next step. So you're looking deeper. Dreams are offering guidance. You begin to look. If you've written them down, you have all this resource. Now's the time to go look at the resource and see what it's been telling you all along. Maybe there's some really big clues that you'll start to see, and you'll say, oh, wow, I've been bypassing these all along because I was frightened or scared or confused. But as soon as you start to tap in, I think you're going to see that there's a whole stream of consciousness there that's very valuable.
Well, I went to Sedona one. Yes, it does. I went to Sedona one time, and I seen a really like a mystical lady, and I asked about the past life thing again, and she said to me, "Still waters
Here's a mystical lady. That's almost useless. Everyone, she could say that to anyone. You're the mystical woman. It's encompassing that for yourself, and empower yourself. And then you won't need to go to this mystical woman who says something she read in the book 30 years ago. You know?
Yeah.
So honor,
and I didn't know if that meant to leave it alone or, you know.
Never. No. Don't leave it alone. Look into it. And if you need help, I'm willing to offer guidance. I do offer tools on my website. And you could start to write down the dreams and ask about the symbols, journey to your symbols and ask them what they mean for you, and record what you get back and start to do artwork or sing or do something to help move past this energy. I think it's partly stuck energy that's holding you back, or it's coming back again and again, so it's something that wants to be acknowledged. If you look at it as a past life issue, it could be something that is related to whatever it is that you repeat. For instance, so you felt like washing dishes or doing something else?
It didn't matter. It could be anything.
Okay.
It could be just walking through a door. It just had to be repeated. Turning on and off the TV or on and off the light or walking past the crack, step on a crack, breaking on the bread. All that kind of stuff. It was just one thing after another, whatever you could imagine.
Yeah, so it's paying attention to the details. So instead of having that message keep coming back to you, go do that. Go pay attention to your dreams. And you're saying, you said it exactly, they're very detailed. They're very weird and strange.
Vivid.
So go pay attention to them.
Okay.
Explore. Start there.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Be your own
very much so.
Super dream empowerment mystical woman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Take
You're so
power
awesome.
back.
I love you.
Thank you.
I love you, Rob.
Okay.
We're coming up on a break. Should I hang up now and just get off the air? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Don.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now we're coming up to a break, so thanks for putting up with me on the phone. I'm going to try to reboot my computer, and we come back
Donna Devane, the Barefoot Guru. That's right.
All reset.
Donna Devane has a YouTube channel. Look for Secret Design Creation or do a search for Donna Devane. You'll find quite a few of her interviews that she's done here on Awakened Radio Network there, as well as a lot of impromptu, sometimes even funny and humorous video messages for you. Check out Donna Devane on YouTube by searching for Secret Design Creation or Donna Devane. Awakened Radio Network is a people-powered network. People-powered means that it's people just like you who believe in what we're doing, who understand the thrival energy concept, how we give from our prosperity and our own abundance, knowing that what we give always comes back multiplied to us. You can help by making a financial donation, shopping in our Awakened store, shopping Donna Devane's books on Amazon, or giving other people an opportunity to find out about us by linking back to our website, sharing our links on your social media, just telling the world, one person at a time. Awakened Radio Network at awakenedradio.net is the gathering place for inspiration, information, and motivation, where we give you the tools to self-empower, do your own healing, and live a successful lifestyle. Connect with all of our hosts on our station's forum. That's right, we have a forum at Awakened Radio Network where you can listen to our past archives, you can communicate with our hosts, you can share your ideas, you can even nominate spectacular people to receive kudos. You can find out all about who we are, what we do, and most importantly, you give us the opportunity to get to know you. So visit with us and communicate with us on awakenedradio.net/forum. We really are interested in getting to know you. Thank you so much for listening to the Awakened Radio Network. Our website is awakenedradio.net, where you will find information on how to share your message with the whole wide world. Consider being an Awakened Radio host. We provide support, produce for you, help you get listeners. We provide archives for you. We even provide a forum and a host page so that you and us working together can reach the world with whatever it is that you're passionate about. Thank you so much for your consideration. Add Awakened Radio to your Skype. Send Donna Devane a typed message, and she'll get back with you ASAP to arrange a phone call conversation. Have you checked out the new magazine, Thrive Evolutionary Consciousness? Yep, you can submit your article, your poetry, or even your artwork to our new magazine, Thrive Evolutionary Magazine. Reach out to us by visiting our website at awakenedradio.net. Look at the top where it says Thrive Evolutionary Consciousness, and you'll find all the information there that you need to discover how to submit your articles, poetry, or artwork. And we always give something back. We'll hyperlink to the page, the URL of your choice. Let's work together with that thrival energy consciousness for a win-win for everyone. The Awakened Radio Network is more than just a radio station. We're a community, people who care about one another, who support one another, inspire, inform, and motivate one another, lifting us all up to our highest expression. Join us, take part in our conversations at our free chat room, awakenedradio.net/live chat room. We also have forums where you can interact with our host. We love to get feedback from you. Check us out as well on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Awakened Radio. I look forward to interacting with you.
Welcome. You're now tuned in to Your Unfolding Senses on Awakened Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ragozzine. This show is all about opening up to and accessing your full intuitive capabilities with a wide range of topics including everything from archetypes, chakras and dreams, to numerology and tarot. We also try experiments and exercises you can try at home to help you deepen and explore. The show airs every Thursday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. It's brought to you by intuitionbyrob.net, where I offer tips and tools related to show topics. Please.
You're live.
Hello, this is Ragozzine returning with your Unfolding Senses. If you have a question, you can come to the chat room and connect to us by coming to awakenedradio.net, click on the live chat tab, or add Awakened Radio to your Skype and ask us your question like Dublin Butterfly just did. Now, we're talking about change and transformation, and we were in the middle of talking about mindfulness. And for me, one of the most rewarding benefits of mindfulness is that it simply can help me to be aware of the ways in which I might let doubt or worry become obstacles. And for instance, the writing that I was just talking about, so instead of saying, well, I can't do this, it has no value, just to continue to write, set a goal of about 2,000 words a day. So far, I've been meeting that very well. So it's paying attention to the moment, and if you're able to step into a meditation on a regular basis, and then to bring that energy out into your life, and to remember how it felt to be calm, it felt to be outside of the static, to bring that out into your daily life, and to bring a greater awareness and be an observer for a moment, so that when you feel anxious, just simply open up and say, I'm observing that I feel anxious, and then begin to question, well, why do I feel anxious? And continue to look at ways in which you can become more aware of the moments in which you might get caught up in anxiousness, or for me, in doubt. And it's really realizing that you might not perceive the situation as it truly is and can be. And you might find out later that you had a completely false impression of a particular event. So be mindful, and it can become a bigger container for you so you can better organize your life. So if you have something important to do, you can set aside space for the anxiousness and the doubt or the worry or whatever it is that is preventing you from moving forward and making a change or a transition. And that's why we're talking about this special object, and we'll talk about that now. So if you have your object, that's great. If you don't worry about it. I'll just describe a simple process by which you can begin to work with it in your life as an object that connects you to happiness and joy and freedom, and to step away from the anxiety and that you might feel during a time of change or transition, or during any time. So all it has to be is a special object that represents joy, or freedom, or happiness, or the transition, as I talked about earlier. It could be a real object. That I took some photos, for instance, of a rainbow here in the Northeast just today, and it was quite beautiful. It was a double rainbow, so that seemed pretty special to me. And a lot of people, more than I could imagine, started to comment on it, and a lot of people here in Connecticut saw it, and they were all impressed by it. And some of them said that they wished they could have stopped their cars and taken a picture. So it's opening me up also to curiosity about finding a camera or learning more photography skills, and not just relying on my phone. But that's a side step. So having your object in front of you and connecting to it. So later on, after we're done, you might like to smudge your object, or set it out in the moonlight, or put it on a ledge during the day and let the sun clear it. But we're connecting to this object with our heart. So to set it on a table in front of you and to relax and close your eyes and bring your one hand to your heart and the other to your object. If it is an object, it could be a picture, or you can just bring both hands to your heart and bring the image of the object to your mind and see it and remember and connect to any feelings, any emotions, any happy memories that are connected to it. So if you have a stone, remember going to the store and feeling it call to you, for instance. Or if you have a baseball, remember playing with your friends or your family. Or if you have anything really, to remember the important feelings and associated memories to it. And to experience that joy, that feeling of connectedness in your heart. Or if it's an acorn or a leaf or something that represents transformation, to feel and open and allow the change to come into your life. And to feel gratitude for that and happiness that you can open to this. Whatever object you have to connect to gratitude for it being in your life now. To continue to hold your hands to your heart and to feel this joy, this warmth, and celebration. And to continue to feel it by opening your eyes and picking up the object and asking it, why are you in my life? Or how can you bring greater clarity and happiness to my life? And listening for the answer. Maybe you bring it up to your ear. Maybe you just look at it and feel into any symbols, lights, or sounds that come to you. Placing it down on the table before you, recording any thoughts that you get, and making sure to go back and look at these later. Releasing your hand from your heart, taking a few deep breaths, and releasing the space. And you can come back to it later. But after you clear or smudge this object, I'd like you to find a small space somewhere in your home. Maybe it's a small table or a window ledge or a space in your bedroom, or if you have a meditation space, somewhere there, and put this object right there so that you pass by it on a regular basis, and when you see it, you connect to the original memories and its message for you, and then you can gather other objects that are related to it. So if you have a baseball that you remember playing with your children, maybe you start to gather pictures or perhaps other mementos, whatever they are, and put them there next to your object. And this is your happiness, change, and transformation space. You could call it an altar if you like, but it's to help you connect to your happiness, but also to recognize that everything changes, everything transforms. So to spend time here with these objects and thank them and have gratitude for them, for being in your life, for having been in your life, and to come here and feel good about that, but also to come here and welcome the new, the transformation into your life. And that's it. That's the process. If you'd like to talk about having done this in the next few weeks, that'd be wonderful. Please do call in, and I'll talk about how your space is growing, how you've changed or transformed, how you've allowed something new into your life. But it's really about creating some special space for yourself in which you can meditate and connect inward and listen to your heart, but also reflect on the good memories and the happiness in your life. But also, since we're being mindful, we're paying attention to change and transformation and opening a space where we can allow it to unfold without resisting it, without having hesitation and doubt about it, but still being discerning, still being concerned and aware that everything is a healthy change for us. Let's ask, how can we facilitate that healthy change? How can we do it with awareness? And that starts with paying attention to how we feel and how we lead our lives, paying attention to the symbols that are coming to you. So as you build this special space, other symbols may come to you as well. So you put that baseball or that leaf on the shelf, and now all of a sudden people are giving you pictures of leaves or pictures of the trees changing color, and you put those on there as well and thank them. Perhaps one day you can help them to create their own space. But for now, developing the space for yourself. And now, to fully do this, you'll have to obviously define what specialness or spiritual or sacred or whatever you call this space actually means to you. And it's going to look very different for everyone. For me, I use a lot of things that are plain, raw, simple. So crystals, masks that I've created, art that I've created, stones, glass that's connected with my energy. And I did a study at one time in an ongoing workshop where we created altars for the various belief systems and religions, and the object and the energy and feeling of each of these stations was very, very different. Just the natures and energies of them. So the structure that held the energy for shamanism was different than the one that held energy for Christianity, for instance. So you had the Bible and you had the cross, perhaps readings. But with the shamanism, you had all kinds of crazy plants and insects and other kinds of things. So make your space personal and special and something that resonates to you and your energy, and don't second guess it. Choose whatever sights, sounds, looks, and feels good to you. Choose stuff that gives you energy, inspires you, or helps you get into deeper ritual, deeper meditation, prayer, or other kinds of personal practice that speaks to you. That could be yoga, that could be Tai Chi. So to do that within the space and connect with your objects. And just a single object can obviously still be very powerful and help to increase your own personal awareness. And it could be just a shelf or a ledge, or if you have more space, that's great. You could develop a whole room to spend and incorporate your special objects and to tap into the energy that you want to create. So you can also create special rituals, special ceremonies, and next week I'll talk about a ceremony or a ritual for 2014, but you can do your rituals around change of season or perhaps movements, astrological movements of the sun and stars. So Mercury, for instance. You might use something like 2 tin cans to connect to the communication energy of Mercury. You can do endings and beginnings. So if you want to transition from one career to another, you can start to do work around that. And of course, things like anniversaries or birthdays or other special occasions. And remember, it's your space. So if you feel like getting out the drill and hammer, go do that. But of course, make sure that you're doing it in a safe way. And if you need to go get an engineer to help you, go do that. It's your space, so you can have whatever you want in it, whatever speaks to you, whatever helps you to make changes and transitions within your own life. So, going back to that, if you were using something like a leaf, you might ask questions related to what do I need? Where do I need to allow myself to fall in my life, for instance? Where do I need to change my attitude, my feeling about something, and work with the leaf for a period of time? And you can do that with really anything from nature, including a rock. So where do I need to be more hard or unforgiving, not necessarily unforgiving, but less yielding and more attentive to my own needs before I help others? So how can I help myself first and then branch out to others? Because a lot of people in the spiritual community or whatever community you're in tend to try to help others and don't know how to say no, so then they drain themselves and feel burnt out, and instead find a way to recharge. And that's why I'm talking about the special or sacred space for yourself. It's a place to come to recharge, feel good, and then you can go out and help others once you've helped yourself. It doesn't matter where you live. So if you live in a condo, or you live in the inner city, or a tiny apartment, you can still do this. It just obviously has to be in a smaller space. And as we talked about smudging in the past few weeks, you can incorporate this into your rituals. Begin to work with the fire and the water, as we also talked about in the past few weeks. And remember that this is your space, so do the things that you feel called to do. If you like those particular rituals, then continue to do them. If you don't, go and find or develop your own and honor your heart and what it calls for. Trust your intuition, of course, and it'll help you to find a spot in your home for your special space and what to include and how to use it, and then just do that and see where all of that guidance takes you, see where you can go with it. And that's all you really need to do. Just follow your heart, your instincts, your intuition, and start to develop the space within your life. And if you're mobile and not very frequently at home, you can also develop a medicine bag. Start to put tiny stones or jewelry in there, still things that speak to you, pictures perhaps, and carry it with you. Carry your special space with you so that if you're traveling a lot for work or business of your own, you can carry this with you and then spread it out in a space wherever you are. It's just making sure that you're nurturing yourself and allowing your special sacred space to unfold within your life. And if you don't, then your intuition is not being of service to you. So this is really about connecting inward and helping to foster a deeper connection to your inner world and your intuition and your heart. I had wanted to talk about a television show called Once Upon a Time, but since we're almost out of time, I suggest if you haven't seen this show to go and watch a recent show an episode was titled Ariel. I'll talk about it next week when I return. You may have a special show next week. And go watch it, and I'll talk about it when I come back next week. And it's related to change and transformation and connecting to your shadow and healing issues related to that. Or at the show end, so I invite you to, if you enjoyed our shows, to find the donate buttons at the top of each page and make a small donation. It doesn't have to be your grocery money. It could be $1. We're largely host and listener supported, so any donations are always greatly appreciated. We still also have time for you to contribute an article, art, or poetry to our Thrive magazine. So please do that. That's due by the 10th. So you have 3 days to contribute to our magazine. I don't know if we're still doing holiday-related themes in this issue or the next one, but you can also do that, recipes and stories related to holidays, maybe when you were growing up. So please do contribute in that way, and we'll share your bio and a link back to your website. And I'll be talking about numerology in the next few weeks, so you may want to look to Amazon to get my book called Your Life Counts. It talks about following your heart, what you're guided to do, and not necessarily vocationally related, but something that you might allow to unfold avocationally, and simply learning to listen to your heart, like I'm talking about every week on this show. No matter your age, there are always steps to take to follow this guidance. So that's on Amazon. It's called Your Life Counts. And we're also hosting a special speaker event. If you feel called to speak on December 1st, we're allowing people to come in and talk about what they're offering, and Donna will interview you. You speak with her for an hour, and you talk about your products and services and all about you yourself, and you. And people can meet you and learn all about you and hopefully come and work with you in your services. So that's December 1st, and we're starting to have people sign up, so please do come and sign up for that. That's called Thrive Finding Success 2014, and that's happening again on December 1st, so we only have about a month left. Thanks for listening tonight. I have an exit quote, and it says, from Max Lucado, he says, how can a person deal with anxiety? You might try what Wenzel did. He worried so much that he decided to hire someone to do his worrying for him. He found a man who agreed to be his hired worrier for a salary of $200,000 a year. After the man accepted the job, his first question was, where are you going to get the money to pay me? To which the man responded, that's your worry. So to find ways to let go of your worries and begin to move into your life and work with change and transformation through rituals, through ceremonies, which we'll talk more about in the future, but also to start to open up your space and allow for this sacred object and related objects on an altar within your home, so that you can begin to connect to the energy of these objects and begin to expand your life and connect with the greater mystery, which is what this practice is all about. Connecting to that, and also connecting to your heart and learning to listen and see the symbols that are already in your life, and to become, I forget what Neville Butterfly said, but magical mystery person, and empower yourself and step forward. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you very much.
You won't catch us sleeping through the fight at night. We're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so bright. We are awakened. Come and join our love, it's so right. If you could feel what we feel now, you'd be a leader filled with might. 'Cause we're